Bless.
Jeff Zelasco, Mark Martin Kia, my friend, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you again.
Everything's always exciting when we talk automobiles at Mark Martin Kia, and Jeff, there's no doubt that we're closing out a calendar year. We're getting close to closing out the calendar year. Here it is. It's
Winding down. November's on us.
November is here. Let's talk a little car business today.
Let's talk turkey. No.
Let's talk turkey. It's coming. I like that, man. Yeah. Let's talk a little turkey. It's coming up, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, it's time. The models are rolling out. The 15 inventory is dwindling. We've still got great deals on the 15s, lots of 16s, lots of exciting new things. It's going to be a big year.
Well, it'll be a good year, and they always want to close out on a good, strong note, and therefore, the key in making a great deal is just what you guys do. I mean, what is a great deal? A great deal is when the customer says, yes, I like it.
It's a great deal.
Yeah,
yes.
It's a great deal, and so, but obviously your customers have been saying y'all are making some great deals here.
Well, we think so. That's what they tell us, and they tell us we continually get this, and it scares me sometimes, but this is the most fun. It's the easiest buying experience we've ever had. And, you want people to come and enjoy being at your business, and you don't want it to be difficult and hear horror stories like some we do, but, sometimes you wonder, are we too easy?
Right.
But we're going to continue to operate like we're operating because that's how we want to be treated out there.
Well, give me some of the examples of the things that you guys would do that you might not normally see in a car dealership. I mean, I see it every day I'm here.
We can get you in and out of here in an hour.
Right.
If you got good credit and things are flowing, we can actually get you in and out of an hour. And versus we hear people tell us, oh, we were there 4 hours, we were 5 hours. Now, a lot of our customers, and I'm talking about over half of them, drive over an hour to get here. So the last thing we want them to do is be tied up here. So we try to move it as fast as they want us to. We go at their pace. I guess that's what we do with every customer. We try to find out what their pace is and move at it. Some people like more product demonstration. Some people already know. A lot of people live out of town, we offer to schedule them, come back at your convenience, and we'll get deep into the technology with you. Of course, our website has a tab on it where you can push and watch videos on every feature on the car, and a lot of our customers like that. But anytime you're buying something new, your excitement level's up. I don't care if it's a TV or a cell phone or whatever. You want to get it and go.
That's correct.
And use it. You're not really listening to what they're telling you.
Right.
And so, for our customers and our owners to really enjoy their product, we like to schedule a second delivery. Sometime when they've already had their car and they're used to it and they come back and they're more settled and they've actually got some interaction questions.
Right.
So we can actually take about an hour with them and go through all the technology on their car. That way they get the benefit of everything they just purchased.
Interesting concept that I've never heard before, a second delivery time.
Yeah.
Because we as consumers might get in that car, and even though, we probably didn't listen as well as what we should have, and then we drive the vehicle for a month, and then you go for a couple of weeks and you go, I really don't know how to work this thing right here. I know he told me, but I need him to show me again. And you go through those things after you become familiar with the product.
Well, our high-end vehicles have so much technology on them. If you're not familiar with it, like we're in them day in and day out and becomes secondary to us, but if you're not familiar with it, it's overwhelming. Sometimes it's overwhelming to us.
Sure.
But it takes a good hour to go through, especially these navigation systems, and now we've got surround cameras instead of just backup cameras. And we've got lane departure warning. We've got adaptive cruise control that checks the speed of the traffic in front of you and actually keeps your vehicle in pace with that traffic or stops the car. We've got geofencing, and that's not fighting. There's just so many things that you've got to explain to people, and it's new technology, and how does it use it, and because if you don't know how to use it, you're not going to.
It's not any good to you if you don't know how to use it.
So we want them to enjoy the full value of what they just purchased, and a lot of people are overwhelmed. I know the guys here well enough, and I know before they're even selling the car that they've mentioned these things. And so many times out here on this pad at delivery where I try to be, I hear people go, wow, I didn't know I'd have got that. Oh, I didn't know it did that.
Right.
There was a lady getting a vehicle yesterday, and I said, I hope you're going to enjoy that air-conditioned glove box. She said, I got an air-conditioned glove box? I said, yeah, it'll keep your soft drink or your medication cool until you need it.
We make an air-conditioned glove box? Really?
Do. We sure do.
Really?
It's not on every Kia, but it's on 3 of our models.
Right.
But it's just things like that are the little things that you go, wow. And that's what Kia wants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you mentioned the technology, and the automobile industry as a whole, the technological advantages are there. But boy, Kia has been the leader in the industry, and what a great, and I know we talk about it month in, month out about the great product, but it's just, it's more than just a good product, it's a great product.
It is. Quality, of course, this year has been a big year for Kia, named the #1 non-premium brand for initial quality by J.D. Powers. The Sorento and the Soul were ranked #1 in their segment. The Sedona won the Appeal Award. Motor Trend ranked it #1. Cars.com rated it #1. I mean, it's a big year, and it's hard to stay on top.
It is.
Because somebody's always wanting to get there.
Well, not only from the standpoint of the industry itself, but from what you guys have done, and again, we talk about this a lot, from what you guys have done, the expectations of what Kia thought we could do in Batesville, Arkansas, we're at a level that we have by far exceeded that level on what they thought was possible.
True.
And what you guys are doing is virtually impossible, but you're doing it.
Well, a big part of it, and we've talked about this, is marketing. You know, our customer base, of course, is Batesville, but
Sure.
our real customer base goes up into southern Missouri and almost over to Harrison and back down. We make a huge triangle in that area, and we are so fortunate when some of those people could drive other places, maybe not as quick, but drive other places, that they go ahead and choose to come to Batesville, Arkansas. And we try to route them around while they're here. Some of them come back for service. We try to name some points of interest. We have courtesy cars. Go check that out, or go have lunch here, and we try to let them experience our city as well as our business.
Yeah, no doubt you're bringing folks into the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, bringing folks in.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, let's talk used vehicles for just a little bit. And I guess when you've got an outlet to go with used vehicles, and you guys can give more for those vehicles, and Mooney talks about on his show a lot about we're able to give more for the used vehicles. Tell us how that makes a difference in a sale.
Oh, it does. When you give a customer, you know, every customer comes in and then you'll ask them, you know, about their trade-in. Oh, I don't know. But when you sit down with them, they know.
Sure.
They have an idea what they want, and they've gotten information off the internet from different sites about what they think it is, or off of different car lots where they saw cars similar they're selling for this. And you have to agree on, that's one of the numbers you have to agree on, is what am I going to get for my trade-in?
Absolutely.
And we are very fortunate to have Mooney Star as our GM because he lives and breathes cars.
Yes, he does.
And he actually will give a lot more, many times, for a car than what you might see it marketed at.
Right.
But because he knows where he can go with it. You know, we've got locations in Ash Flat, in Hardy or Highland, in Melbourne, here in Batesville, and then south side here. And we've got an auction lane. And people know Mooney and his reputation at the auction. And they will come to our lane, and Mooney says sometimes they'll pay more than they will in other lanes because they know where that car came from.
Right.
And they just have a higher anticipation of it. But with all those different outlets, you know, what might be hot in Batesville may not be hot in Melbourne or may not be hot in Ash Flat. We have the luxury of giving a trade value based on what market we know we can move it in. And he's the guy, and he knows.
You twice have said the word market, and that's what Mooney knows. Mooney knows the market.
Yes.
And he talks about he doesn't use the books and the so and so. He knows the market, and if a guy is studying the market and he knows what a car's worth and he knows where he can go with that car, he can give more. And I mean, he's the guy that puts us on the money here at the Kia store. You're going to get more for your money here for your trade-in than you're going to get anywhere in the country, I can assure you.
That's right. You know, he appraises the cars for all our locations. And there's not very many places, if any, you can call where they've got one used car manager covering all lots through a phone.
Well, you call him on the phone and you just describe the car. You have to be good enough, your group's got to be good enough to describe that vehicle to him.
And with the technology,
and then he can put a number on it.
With the technology, sometimes when it's really unique, we'll text a picture.
Right.
You know, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and some vehicles come in here and you really just can't describe them. Some are really that nice, sometimes they're not that nice, and you want him to have a good vision of what he's getting. But, you know, our goal is to give you the best value we can for your trade-in, to sell you our product at a fair price, and to get you out there in something you want to have.
Well, I know it's not easy. The car business is not easy because you have the unknown of the trade-in. I mean, and we talk about it a lot. the cost of vehicles, brand new vehicles, are the same anywhere in the country. The cost of them is the same. The difference is what, what we're going to allow for a trade-in. And if you have a good market for those, you can make a lot of deals. And I mean, obviously, you guys you're making a lot of deals.
We're trying to. And I'm glad you said the cost of all of them are the same, because there are the dealerships that are trying to confuse people on what the price is.
Right.
And that's one thing we don't do here, and we're really proud of it. We've discussed it, and we're sticking to our guns. We do not addendum our cars. We do not want to confuse the people or the public on what this car lists for new.
Right.
Because it sometimes it's confusing to us. We're trying to trade one in. They do so much stuff. You gotta go, okay, what is this? What we wanted?
Well, tell us about an addendum to a car. What does that mean? What does an addendum to a car mean?
Addendum is a side sticker put on by at the local dealership for features, options they have added at the store. But at some places, they're adding for like market and supply.
Right.
Or supply and demand. They've got lots of different words for it, and it's $1,300 or $1,400.
Right.
Some places are packaging up nitrogen tires and mud guards and sealants and protectants, and they're charging $800, $900, $1,000 for that stuff. And there's a lot of markup there. That's all I'm going to say. And that's what it's for. It's to add, it's additional dealer profit, so that they can actually say, oh, we're going to give you $2,000 more for your trade-in. Or,
right.
Or you come
it's
down
built
here
in at the top.
and we're going to pay. And lots of times, and I'm saying this because I've seen it, people come back here trading cars later, they bought the car for over sticker.
Right.
And I'm going to probably jump out on a limb here and say 9 out of 10 people would not want to pay over sticker for a car if they knew
Yeah, I would think that they wouldn't want to either.
Everything we do here, even our service and handling fee, everybody's got them, even the banks when you get a loan. But some places are charging $200. We charge $59. And that just kind of covers, a service and handling fee is a fee a dealership can charge to cover the cost of your paperwork process.
Sure.
Because when those papers are signed, some of those supplies we have to purchase, then things have to be FedExed overnight to the banks. Papers are mailed to you.
There's some cost in it,
and that covers all that cost. And we think our $59 fee is really fair.
Yeah, I think it's maybe the least one in the history of the business.
So there's other places. I was talking to a dealership out of state, and their service and handling fee was $490.
Wow.
But we say this all the time, the only number that matters when you're out trading cars, no matter where you're at, new, used, whatever, is that very bottom line of how much you're going to stroke a check for or how much you're going to finance.
Absolutely.
There's not another number on that piece of paper except your interest rate that matters.
Yeah, if you're comparing a car that ought to list for $20,000 and they don't put a sticker on and one that lists for $20,000, yeah, bottom line on that is, it doesn't matter how much you give me for the trade-in. It's the bottom line number is how much you've got to finance and what that calculates out to in a payment.
That's right. And too often, people get emotionally attached to their trade-in or they get ideas of what this other car is worth, and all this comes into the pot, but that very bottom number.
Well, and what we have to do is we have to sell our car at wholesale, and we have to give wholesale for those trade-ins. That's what we're doing. We're not selling ours at the high retail. We can't give high retail for a trade-in. And some people will get confused from time to time when they say, well, I know I saw a car on a used car lot and it's $10,000 and you only offer me $8 for mine, and I think mine ought to be worth $10. Well, you can't give $10 for it and try to sell it for $10.5.
Exactly. But also, any number you see on a used car lot, very few people go in and write a check for that number they saw on the windshield.
That is right.
You got to ask, because most people expect you, and this is one of the only businesses, except maybe furniture, where people expect you to really come down on your price.
Sure.
You can't go to Walmart and check out and go, how much you say? I'll give you 30. That won't work.
Doesn't work, does it?
No.
Doesn't work. Yes, sir. I need a little bit more discount for me to do business with you guys today.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the intriguing things of the car business, though, is the trade-in and the knowledge that it takes to find out what these trade-ins are worth.
Yes.
And it's just because even at Walmart, if you go in and buy a can of paint, you don't take a half a can of paint in there to trade it in.
No.
One of the unique businesses, the car business, is that way. Or you go to the Dairy Queen and you say,
That's
okay,
right.
give me a milkshake. I got an empty cup right here. I want to trade in on that. How much you give me from an empty cup?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Free refills?
Yeah, free refills.
But it's unique, and it's a lot of fun. It's interesting. I never come to work in the morning knowing what's going to happen today.
No,
There's no way to plan your day in this business. And
every deal's different.
It is. I enjoy interacting with the customers.
Yes.
I enjoy people, and it's just fun for me most of the time to see and hear what people have to say about their product, their experiences, their past experiences, what they're expecting, what they're not expecting. And again, bottom line here is we try to treat each deal uniquely and give the customer the experience that they want.
Well, that's the key, and you guys doing so well is that you mentioned early in the show here was that it's an easy place to purchase an automobile. And that's what all of us want. All of us want an easy place. We want a good product. We want it at a fair price. We want to be able to get service on it after that. Mm-hmm. But we want the process to be something that we enjoy, and you get that at Martin Kia.
Well, and another part of it is the people. And I have a good team here, even the whole dealership. Service, parts, sales, it's great, good people. And the internet has taken the people factor out of everything.
Right.
You know, people on the internet looking for a car, looking for prices, they're seeing numbers. And people are all interested in what they're going to pay, but people do make the difference.
Right.
You know, how you're treated, how much knowledge do you have? You know, who's going to take care of your car after you buy it? It's all people.
People.
And we have the people factor here, and we think that's one of our major winning factors over everybody else.
Well, I think people do business with people.
Yeah.
I think
they do.
I think you get a better deal when people are doing business with people. And you talk about that on, you know, and the internet's a great source of people that can get prices and get information, and, you know, we all use the internet. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if you get out and get to talking to somebody about, you know, actually tell me the value of why I should buy that automobile, and you get it right here. Y'all can show the value. Got to be some value there.
That's right. And a lot of our people, we're thankful, stop by just to visit.
Right.
We'll drive in. We had some people from down toward Searcy come up to Harps to do some shopping. Well, they came over and spent an hour with us talking and stuff, and we ended up getting some salsa out and having some chips and stuff. And had a real nice visit, but that's the fun part of this.
Absolutely.
It's the people.
Absolutely. Well, it's always fun to purchase an automobile at Martin Kia, and the one thing we ask you before you purchase an automobile anywhere else, give us a chance to show you our product. If you're familiar with the product, give us a chance to show you a price. Give us a chance, because you will not be disappointed.
No matter what you're driving, because we've got something from luxury down to the most economic type of transportation you could want. And they really are. They're worth the drive before you make a decision.
Jeff Zelasco,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, my friend. It's coming up. We filmed early in the month, or actually the end of October, but happy Thanksgiving to you, and you guys continue to do well.
Thank you.
Jeff Zelasco, Martin Kia, south of everything, Batesville.